Tell me why you've been wasting precious time, medicating your mind, leaving the brush behind. Happiness achieves temporary reprieve from everything that's real that you don't want to feel.
I honestly don't think that the Ark would be able to function properly without volunteers. It's always been part of the Ark project, and long may it continue. I do come on a Wednesday, and I'm here for all of the morning into early afternoon, doing CRB checks, making sure that we've got correct data on our volunteers, because it is important that everybody that is here we know about properly. At the moment, we used to have coming on for 90. We've dropped back a little bit at the moment because people are ageing, and so some people, because of their age, have had to give up. Although there is no limit on age to volunteer, but there does come a time when people feel a little bit tired. But fortunately, we've also got some younger people that are becoming interested. And I think that is excellent that young people are willing to give their time on a voluntary basis to help at the Ark.
I've volunteered at the Girl Guides for the past 3 years, and last summer we did some fundraising for the Ark, and a member of the Ark came and had a talk to us about it and about what happened at the Ark and what happened here. And it was just something that I wanted to get involved with, so I asked for an application form and just decided to give it a try. I work on the front desk. So I book people in when they come into the Ark, when they go out. I check the mail for them, I answer the telephone and handle general inquiries. Bits of everything really, because you never know who's going to ask for what or what's going to be needed of you on a daily basis or a nightly basis. It depends on how long people stay, because if they stay for a number of weeks, then on a weekly basis you get to know the people that come in and they get to know you and they relax more around you when they see a friendly face. They ask you different questions, but they've got different needs, because some people don't want to chat at all or anything, whereas other people do want to chat. And it's in some ways it's not that informal because you're on the front desk, and so it's I think they find it easy to talk to me actually, just being on the front desk, because it's just as passing, they might have a passing comment and then that'll start a conversation. So you're meeting different people every day, and it's just a worthwhile experience, I think. It's something that I wouldn't do in my normal life, everyday life, and it's interesting.
For it to function properly in one way or another, and especially as there's a bit of development now in the Ark with the drop-in centre, I think we'll be looking for more people with the ability to be able to step into a situation like that and help out. I think it helps the full-time staff in any case. It releases them to do other things. You get to know people, people get to know you, and if you come on a regular basis, I think it's essential that you come on a regular basis, because that's the only way that you get to know what the whole situation is, how everything operates, and get to know the staff, which is very, very important.
I started about 6 years ago, and I've always volunteered in the kitchen. I still do that now, but for about a year I also did buddy work as well. I was a buddy to one of the females in one of the Archangel houses, and once a week, every week, I just used to pick her up and take her to do a weekly shop. And we had some other times as well, once we went to the Philharmonic and things like that, but it was mainly just doing a weekly shop and having a chat with her, and it was great. I enjoyed it. I already knew this particular resident from when she was here, and I used to serve her food and we'd got on well. I think she opened up to me a lot. She wasn't a person who was open with a lot of people, but she started to trust me, and she's found it quite difficult doing things like the weekly shop, and it's such a simple thing to a lot of people, but some people might struggle with that. So I could just help her and advise her on healthy eating and how to save her money, and I enjoyed it, because it's like when you're serving at the Hatch, you get to know the residents, but you could see somebody week after week and not really say much to them, but then others want to engage in conversation, and you might get to know their name and have a bit of banter and a bit of a laugh, but other ones you just basically, giving them the food and making polite conversation, but it depends on the residents.
I just get satisfaction from it. It doesn't make me feel good, because I think that would be the wrong attitude to have doing something like this. But I do get a lot of satisfaction out of it, helping other people.
Well, I mean, the principal reason was originally sort of like to get experience, working with adults, vulnerable sort of situations, and all sort of, add to your CV. Since coming here, it's been interesting to meet the residents and coming and going, over the time. It gives you an insight into, why people sort of come to use the services Ark provides. To a large extent, I think it is most certainly true that a lot of people come in with preconceptions. Sort of think homeless hostel, that's going to be a place where all the druggies and alkies all end up, and they're all just a bunch of like ne'er-do-wells that society's dregs. But that's it's not true. I mean, you come and you're open-minded. You'll find that people are here for all manner of reasons. Some may have drug problems, alcohol problems, but that's by no means everybody that's here. There's people from all different sections of society who, for one reason or another, find themselves, without a house. It's interesting to be here and to be exposed to that, and be able to sort of like go away and have a chance to sort of try and educate others, about what you've learnt when you come to somewhere like here.
I used to be a nurse, so I've seen what can happen to the weaker members of society, and people do have misconceptions about why people are homeless. They've all got a story, and everybody's story is different, and everybody needs support. My grandson's actually homeless, and he's in Archangel, and the support and help he's had has been unbelievable. The help that I could never have given him as a family member because I was too close. When he came down to see people from Archangel, and he wasn't as afraid as he may have been because of the things he'd heard about it. And he was happy to come down, even though he didn't seem it at the time. He was very within himself. And he's amazed at the help and support and the non-judgmental attitude of people. He was really pleased. So I think the fact that I'd been here and he knew what it was like helped him. It wasn't as frightening, possibly, as it could have been otherwise.
Everyone's only maybe 2, 3, 4 steps away from homelessness. I enjoy it. I do befriending, which means I come in, I have a cup of tea, I sit in the lounge, I talk to residents. Sometimes they just want a friendly ear, they don't want it to be staff. Sometimes they might want to walk around town if they don't come from the area. They might not know where the post office is or the shops are. I can do that. Or I can just come in and sit and listen. I can help them write letters. I can do anything that they want me to do. I always bring a paper in with me. They like to read a paper. We have a natter about the news. If you've got any hours to do, it's whatever you can spare, really. I choose to give 2 days a week because it gets me out the house. It gives me a break and I enjoy what I do. Sometimes just knowing somebody's name can make a difference. Just saying, hello, Fred. Just knowing that that person appreciates you, knowing who they are, can make a difference to your day as well as their day.
I cook the breakfast Monday morning. I'm not a morning person, so that's quite hard for me. And we do the collections for Marks and Spencer's on a Tuesday, Wednesday and Saturday.
So you go and collect it?
Yeah, if I don't go, Derek goes. Yeah.
How many do you cook for?
Well, it depends. Some days will be sort of 8, and like this morning we had 16 down. Just depends.
It varies.
Varies. If you bring the bacon in, you get a full house.
Why do you give your time here?
Mainly because our Irene made me at first, because she was here, and she'd come and say somebody's moving out, we need some furniture, so we used to go around the houses and pick up what we could, and really got involved with her. And Eileen McGivern in the old days at Laird Street, she was a nurse there, and she used to, if they needed anything, she'd come and we'd try and collect for it or whatever. And we used to bring the food down at Christmas and things like that. Yeah, I'm not like a good volunteer like Elspeth or Jackie. I moan, you see, getting up on Monday morning like that. I don't do it with a good heart. I'm not your typical wonderful volunteer. No, you do. I just think when I've been locked out, if I'm locked out of the house, I've locked myself out a few times, and that feeling of not having anywhere to go in. It's just awful. I just think to be homeless must be one of the most horrendous things in this world.
You think the resis appreciate what you do?
Oh, yes, they definitely do. They definitely do. I don't want to feel like a do-gooder, that's the only thing. You talk about volunteering. My father was a socialist, and our house was always full. Anybody who was made homeless or anybody who needed anything, my dad would bring them home, and we'd have like 4 to a bed and share. So we were brought up in that era that you just try and help somebody who's not as fortunate as yourself, because I'm very lucky. I've had a smashing life, charm life, and just give a little bit back.
I had been friends with Irene for a long time, and she asked me if I'd like to come about 15 years ago and help. And I enjoyed it so much that I'm still here today.
It's hard work. I mean, the time flies when you're here. There's no sitting around drinking tea and sort of discussing curry for hours on end. I mean, it is. You come here and you're expected to get on with things. But no, it's nice to meet some interesting people, get an insight into their lives, and hopefully get a chance to enhance their lives in some way. Maybe sort of pick up on something they may have missed, which might help them in some way.
I would recommend it because, as other people have said, there's different areas you can volunteer in. I chose the kitchen because I actually enjoy cooking. There's a bit of a hobby anyway, so I enjoy cooking. But my favourite bit is the serving, when you have the interaction with the residents. But you've also got your befriending, and as Vicky does on the desk. And so I'd say give it a go, and you work hard, but you have good fun as well.
I go home and I feel better knowing that I've helped people. It makes a difference to me and not just to the clients that come here or use the drop-in centre or anything. It makes a difference to my life and to their life, I feel. I'm a happier person, and hopefully they're happier for having me here.
It's a two-way street being a volunteer. You're not just giving, you actually receive. You meet a lot of people, same as everywhere else, good and bad. And you can gain an awful lot of insight that will help you to help other people.
Get the opportunity to come along, volunteer, then come along, and you'll meet lots of really positive people.
I'd say give it a go, because I started 6 years ago thinking, I'll give it a go, and I'm still here, and I can see me being here for a long time.
Volunteering doesn't suit everybody, but unless you give it a try, you're never going to know. Some people get put off a little bit when they first come, but it's just a case of sticking at it and getting to know people, getting to know the situation. So I would encourage anybody who feels that they've got the interest to volunteer to come along and at least try it, or at least find out about it, find out what's involved, have a look round the place, because that makes a big difference. Once you've been shown round the place and you know what the situation is, then I think it's very important that you give it a try and see if it suits you.